My name is John Nimmo, and I will be presenting on the Internet of Things. So, on the agenda, we have the definition of the Internet of Things, a couple of examples, the history of Internet of Things, the increasing relevance in general and in the economic market, the impact of the Internet of Things on businesses and consumers, issues such as security, privacy, and surveillance, and the future of the Internet of Things. So, as you can see here, the dictionary actually has its own definition of the Internet of Things, but generally it means a physical device that's connected to the internet. And more recently, Internet of Things has been defined as devices with internet capabilities that also have the ability to communicate with each other. So, a couple of examples are electronic devices such as smartphones and tablets. Those would go into kind of the dictionary definition. And then some appliances such as refrigerators and smart thermostats. Recently, automobiles have been increasing in popularity of becoming connected. There's a prediction that by 2021, 94 million cars will be connected. And like in the industry, there are a lot of Internet of Things. And then some recent developments have been things such as light bulbs, children toys, and coffee makers that have sensors attached to them that can communicate with each other. Basically, anything that a sensor can be attached to and can be switched on and off. So, the history of the Internet of Things, um, the idea was invented by Kevin Ashton in 1999. However, the technology at the time was not advanced enough to kind of see the big picture. Um, Internet of Things started off in mainly in businesses and manufacturing. However, now it's becoming more prevalent in homes and offices as technology advances. So, how relevant exactly is Internet of Things? Well, I don't know about you, but I can't go one day without interacting with an Internet of Things device. And before I knew the term, I wouldn't have even thought about that. There's an exponentially increasing quantity of devices that are referred to as Internet of Things. And as you can see, at around 2017, there were 28.4 billion devices that were connected. And generally, two-thirds of devices, of Internet of Things devices, are found in China, North America, and Western Europe. Um, and the most popular, most numerous devices in the future are predicted to be smart TVs and speakers, electric meters, and commercial security cameras. Internet of Things is also relevant in the market share economically. Billions of dollars each year are spent on Internet of Things devices. There are many predictions regarding um, the increasing popularity and the increasing market share. One being that in 2021, the market share of Internet of Things devices will be $520 billion. And the pie chart to the bottom right shows kind of which sectors are most popular with Internet of Things. The first one being smart cities, which we'll cover later, and then also industrial Internet of Things, which we will be covering next. So the Internet of Things impact on businesses is defined as industrial Internet of Things. Um, so for generally the largest market share of the industries, or the largest market share has been industry specific, um, as you can see on the chart on the bar graph. Um, However, recently there's been an increase in importance of cross-industry Internet of Things, which means it's not like an industry-specific device. It's a device that all businesses can use to increase productivity. So the first example, or the largest portion of the industry-specific Internet of Things, is held by manufacturing. It's the biggest market. Um, excuse me. They spent $189 billion in 2017, and they use it for process efficiency, which could be the monitoring the conditions of machines to alert when in need of maintenance, or also asset tracking, which can result in increased efficiency in monitoring and supply chain operations. The second largest market is transportation. Is an $85 billion market, and they use Internet of Things for freight monitoring, making it easier to keep track of what is being transported. They also use Internet of Things for fleet management, which could result in better maintenance on vehicles, as well as just generally making logistics easier. And if you see on the top left of the diagram, there's a prediction that by 2025, there won't be a single vehicle on the road that isn't connected. The third largest industry is the utilities industry. It's the $73 billion. And they use Internet of Things to create smart grids, making the monitoring of electricity, gas, and water more simplified. So the industry that has an increasing market share is the cross industry. Two examples of this are connected vehicles and smart buildings. Connected vehicles can be cross industrial because any business can own them. As so, it's the same use as in the transportation industry, but it's benefiting all sorts of businesses, as well as smart buildings that the companies operate out of. And as you can see in the chart, by 2020, it's likely that the number of Internet of Things units installed in the cross industry will surpass the industry specific category. So, what is the Internet of Things impact on consumers? The first important one is convenience. Items such as the Amazon Echo and smart speakers make it easier to play music, or set reminders, or set timers, edit your calendar, and all you have to do is talk to them, kind of like having a personal assistant. They also have an impact on safety, such as accessing security cameras from remote locations, such as the doorbells that have the cameras built into them. And one big recent emergence is in smart homes. So smart home is basically an interconnected house. So a house with a bunch of Internet of Things units that all communicate with each other, such as having a smart fridge that knows when you're out of food, smart lights that you can turn off by talking to them, a thermostat that already knows when to start heating the house, as well as the smart speaker like the Amazon Echo to control the other Internet of Things devices. Another big impact of the Internet of Things is smart cities. Um, so cities in general already have vast infrastructure, technological infrastructure, such as security cameras and traffic lights. However, they are continuing to develop and implement more Internet of Things devices. And one potential benefit that the Internet of Things can provide in cities is environmentally. As you can see in this diagram, the air pollution, water quality, waste management, um, forest fire detection, those can all be positively affected by the implementation of Internet of Things devices. One example is there's a plan to put 500,000 sensors in the Balearic Islands in Spain, and they're kind of transforming it into a lab for Internet of Things. However, Internet of Things does pose problems such as security issues. There's a great number of hackers throughout the world that have the ability to hack everyday items that are connected, such as webcams. Um, and as the Internet of Things increases, the individual securities on them decreases. And one large problem that this poses is a threat of cyber warfare, as hackers from other countries could gain access to a large part of our infrastructure because it's all connected through the Internet of Things and through the web. And if we don't increase the securities, then they could infiltrate our infrastructure. Going off of security issues, that leads into privacy issues. So if your devices, I mean, not even if they get hacked, even if the people who produce them, they have the ability to collect data, and that's not always a bad thing, but some people don't like the fact that there are people who seem to be spying on us, quote unquote. Um, this goes into the monitoring and surveillance. There are many cameras connected to the Internet of Things, so if they do get hacked, then the person with the access will be able to see through our cameras and see what we see and spy on us, basically. Um, there are also many privacy issues arising in businesses. Um, they sometimes limit their Internet of Things due to the lack of trust and fear of invasion of privacy within the business. So the future of Internet of Things, um, as the sensors become increasingly cheaper, Internet of Things will continue to spread into items we wouldn't even think would have a reason to be connected. But because there will be an an increase, like a spread of the connected devices, it's likely that there will be an increase in the development of securities for even minor appliances and individual appliances. Um, as well, there's many predictions about the market of Internet of Things. For example, as seen on the last slide, the estimated value of the global Internet of Things market by 2022 is $14.4 trillion. And you can see on this slide, by 2025, it's predicted that 75 billion devices will be installed into the Internet of Things. But the market for Internet of Things is currently evolving, and it develops every day as more devices get invented and more devices are sold, are connected, even powered on. Once it's powered on, then it's part of the Internet of Things. So recap, define the Internet of Things: physical device connected to the internet, likely to be able to communicate with each other. Some examples such as smartphones, Amazon Echo, the thermostat, smart thermostats. History, the invention of by Kevin Ashton. Relevance in business such as manufacturing, transportation, utilities, and relevance to consumers in smart cities. And issues such as security, privacy, surveillance, and the future of Internet of Things, which is on a vast incline. It's just ever growing. And my references, and thank you.